Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. Today we are going to do something very, very different, and we're going to take a little bit of a walk. So we're going on a field trip. Now I'm going to go slowly so that we get to where we need to be. It's just on the other side of my desk, and we're going to turn and look at these two cubbies right there in the middle. Those cubbies are manufacturer papers that I'm able to sort that have not been assigned any other purpose. So I'm going to pause so that I don't make you drunk, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've pulled everything out. I've got it on the desk. I have 4 very big stacks of paper, and in those 2 cubbies, because the cubbies are 13 inches each, so I know I have 26 inches of paper. So my friend Jenny, her channel is Curly Q Scrapper. I'll have her linked below. She did a room tour, and in her room tour, she talked about having dirty little secrets. And she had, we chat and do virtual hangouts. So we had talked about this dirty little secrets before. I was really glad she brought it up and kind of put it out there, because it reminded me, oh yeah, I was going to do the dirty little secrets, and, something probably that we'll maybe do a collab on. Something, a hop or something. Anyway, those 2 cubbies are for sure probably my biggest dirty little secret, because I am notorious for purchasing a piece of paper here, a piece of paper there. I've been doing this since the early 2000s when I discovered 2 peas in a bucket. Back then, it was because I couldn't afford to buy an entire collection, so I would do what Janet of RTS scrapbooking calls sampling of supplies. So I did that. I've done it always. And it's a habit that I need to break for where I am right now in my life and in my scrappy journey. So my apologies, I got interrupted by my puppy. Anyway, so I have continued to buy papers thinking, oh, I'll put that in my color categories. And then when I get them in my house and I'm unpacking the box, I have long forgotten what my initial plan was. And some of this is from when Emma's Papery went out of business. I bought a lot. This was during the pandemic. I wasn't traveling. I had surplus money, and I bought a lot of single pieces of paper from Emma's Papery. Okay, so when we know the source, now we need to find a fix. And my fix came from 2 different places. It came from Maura, and I will have her channel linked below, Life Scraps with Maura, and I will have Teresa's For the Love of Paper Crafting. I will have her channel linked below, because Maura and Teresa just lit my world on fire. So I had shared a video, Maura shared a comment, and in that video I was talking about what I typically do with my Flavors of the Month subscription kits when they come in. I determine if I'm happy with what I received and I do not want to buy any more of that collection, or if I love it and I want to buy additional papers, then I will go shopping on my next shopping trip, my next online, my next order. I will add some more for the collection that I decided I wanted more of. And then Maura she's so gentle and thoughtful and kind. And she just suggested, hey, you know, what about shopping your stash? I know it's a life-altering suggestion because it never occurred to me to do that with I'm taking off my sweater because I'm burning up. It never occurred to me to do that with my Flavors of the Month kits because those are new collections. And in my brain, I was thinking, oh, these are new collections coming in. I might want more of the new collection stuff. Well, my space is beyond that. I am beyond living La Vida Loca with the new collections. I just cannot go hog wild anymore. So I had returned back to doing the sampling of supplies, just buying a little bit here, a little bit there, little pieces of collections instead of getting the entire collections. I have all of this stuff. I have all of this stuff. Beautiful, beautiful papers. I mean, beautiful papers that every single one of the 26 inches, every single one of these papers are hand selected. I purchased them as single pieces. I know I love them. I know when I go through these stacks, I love every single piece. I know I do. So this is not a purge situation. It's about assigning a purpose situation. And I had Maura's words ringing in my ears. And Teresa and I were chatting. And I said, hey, I want to read you what Maura said. So I read it to Teresa. And Teresa immediately was like, of course, I was telling Teresa also about my dirty little secret cubbies, you know, 26 inches of paper. And Teresa was like, why not just sort them by manufacturer? Because when we get the Flavors of the Month kits in, they're by manufacturer. So you could just go to that manufacturer because manufacturers frequently use the same tones of colors and they coordinate, you know, across collections very well within their collections. She said, why don't you just sort them by manufacturer? And that way, when the collection comes in, if you want more, if you want to make that collection bigger, then all you have to do is just go to that manufacturer and do it. Oh my gosh. It was just like the heavens opened up and the angels sang. Maura and Teresa. And I'm just going to just input here. Having friends who get what you're going through and who are willing to make suggestions and even push back a little bit and kind of help us course correct. Those kind of friends are invaluable. And I am so, so blessed with the friends that I have surrounding me in this hobby. So anyway, their words just completely transformed how I'm thinking. They've given me a purpose for my dirty little secret. And I am going to create my own little scrapbook store. These stacks of paper, this is what I'm going to be shopping for a long time. I'm going to be shopping from these papers to beef up my kits, my collections, what have you. For a while, I'm going to be playing with this. So I'm not going to show you everything because friends, it would take 3 months to show you all this paper. But I'm going to pause. I'm going to kind of get things together. And then once I get the manufacturers sorted, then I'll come back and share that with you. I have everything sorted. I started to share some of that process with you, but I think it would be easier to just kind of put it in a nutshell. We're going to go on another field trip. I'm going to walk around and show you again how I've got it sorted. And I'm going to talk about my decision-making process. And then we're going to go in just a little different direction. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. I apologize if this is a little blinding. We've got beautiful sunshine coming in the window this morning, and I am loving that. Okay, as you can see, I have sorted all of that paper. There was paper in there that did not belong. It belonged somewhere else, and I removed it, and guess what? I didn't actually have 26 inches. So that made me feel good. I wanted to talk a little bit about the decision-making process. So I've got the divider, and in front of that is the paper from that brand or that manufacturer or designer. Because Jen Hadfield, I've got separated by the designer, and I have Paige Evans separated by designer. Because Paige Evans was under the manufacturer Pink Paisley and now American Crafts. So she has a very distinct style, and I want all of her papers together. Now, that brings me back to the decision-making process. Once I made the decision, like putting Bella Boulevard and Doodlebug together, I don't have a lot. This is it right here. This is all I have. And they're very similar in style. So that will be what I pull from. I started not to put anything over here that the manufacturer has gone out of business. And then I decided, for example, jelly bean soup. I have too much of it not to go ahead and just separate it and put it over here. I have too much of the We Are Memory Keepers papers and Webster's pages to not include it over here. I also have a section at the very end. Oop, I just blinded you. Sorry about that. At the very end, miscellaneous, that, I was trying not to blind you again, that are, those are all out of, no longer in business. Like Chicken Nitty, and there's more, Teresa Collins. Those brands are no longer in business for scrapbooking. I don't think Chicken Nitty's in business for anything. So I didn't want to separate them because I don't have a lot of each one anyway. So that's kind of was my decision-making process. Once I made the decision, that's it. I'm not going to sit here and second guess myself. My Paige Evans is going to go on Paige Evans, regardless of who she's designing for. And that's just, it just alleviates me struggling about changing decisions. That's not going to happen. This is how I'm going to sort it. I mentioned that I wanted to do something different for the rest of this video. And what I'm doing, I have my 30 Days of Sketches box that I keep my kits in. I have used some of these kits for almost 2 years. I'm okay with that, except for, so I'm definitely getting tired of looking at some of them. And in February, when I was getting ready for the March 30 Days of Sketches, I did go through them and get rid of some of the kits. Now, this is all of, how do I want to say this? So my room is pretty much set up in collections based on the seasons, holidays, special events, you know, that kind of thing. And then I have certain themes like birthday, camping, faith, family, so on. That's pretty much how my brain works. So as far as kits, I've worked through my bits and pieces that I've put together to create a kit. And this is all I have. So I'm sorry I'm a little out of breath. It was heavy lifting this. Anyway, I want to go through these kits and freshen it up. I'm also going to tear down some and place the papers in my new manufacturer's categories. So that gives me a place, because I've got room over there now, That gives me a place to put these kits, and it also gives me permission to draw from that category in my room to beef up these kits. I've also, at the first of, actually just in a couple of days, I should be receiving my Flavors of the Month kits for April. And I'll be able to, for the first time, shop my new little category to beef up those 4 pieces of collections. My brain is going very slow this morning. So let's just, for example, dig into this one. This is old, and I put it in here because I think I want to play with it this time. I've not played with this in a long time. I took it off the shelf out of my collections because it's not been touched. And I have all of the stuff that I got from Tuesday morning that goes with it. And I just want to play with it. So this one we're going to keep together. And it's going to be used in my June 30 Days of Sketches. Now, I don't know that I will be able to do all 30 days coming in June. I didn't think I was going to be able to do March, but I really don't think I can in June because we tend to get out and explore and that's when we create memories, you know, in the summertime when it's getting warm and we start going hiking and little day trips and stuff. So it may be a challenge. I have used this. This was part of March's Flavors of the Month kit. And I have used everything except for 2 full pieces, 1 piece of cardstock. I have these scraps left. And I have quite a bit of stickers left. So this I'm going to keep in the rotation because it's new. And I still have enough there to definitely make at least 1 page. I could actually stretch that into a 2-page layout. But for sure, I have enough for 1 page. So I'm going to keep that one. That was Photo Play, Showers and Flowers. Okay, so I have these random piece of papers from my last order that this needs to be assigned something. And these from Paige Evans, I'm going to put in Paige Evans. These have a purpose. I'm going to use them for the aquarium photos that we took back in March. So I'm going to put these aside and I'm going to beef this up a little bit. And these I bought to fussy cut out these elements. So I actually need to go to my P13 papers and create maybe a kit that can beef this up a little bit. Or Mente maybe. Possibly even Asuka. It just has that vibe from those designers. And I definitely need to make a kit out of that. So I have purposes for those. Excuse me. So this well, that was an unexpected copying fit. Okay, this is new and I want to use these together. So this is Parasol from Maggie Holmes, and this is from Prima, but I think a lot of the color tones would work well together. So that I'm going to keep in my 30 Days of Sketches for June. It's a large kit and it may get disassembled. This one I need to add embellishments to, but it is definitely a more collage kind of, not really vintage, just touches of vintage, but definitely more collage. grungy maybe. That's the kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. But I need to add to this one. It's new, and I want to keep it in the rotation. This is Echo Park Springtime. I added to it last month, and it is pretty. This is everything that I want from this collection. I don't want it to add any more to it. So I'm happy with what I have. It is going to go, it's new. It's going to go in my 30 Days of Sketches kit. So this is a lot of this stuff is you've seen it before because I showed it in a video last month or a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to do something a little different and go to the back of the box because that's where my older, let's see if I can do this without making a royal mess. This is where I've used stuff over and over and over again. This one is 49 in Market. Countryside, I believe was the name of the collection. Yes, Countryside. I definitely want to use this. I've kind of been hoarding this one because it's so stinking cute. This is also going to kind of tell me once I get my collections all made, where I need to go to for photos as well. All right, this one I'm tearing down. I've played with it. I'm going to throw these scraps away. I'm going to place these in my scraps containers. This is going to go with my colored cardstock, and this will go in my family collections. This, I have enough to do one layout. I have 2 pieces of pattern paper, 1 piece of cardstock. I have 2 pieces of 6x6 and this tag that I made. So I want to get that one used. So it's going to go front and center in my kits. This is another one that I have used a couple of times. There's not a lot left. I can't throw these away because those are very, very usable. So I'm going to keep those. They're going in my scraps. This is going in my scraps. Scraps. And this is going to go over in my manufactured paper. This is from Close to My Heart. Now this, to me, is a great example of a collection that I have used. I don't have a lot left of it. I have a lot of embellishments left, though. And this shows me. I'm speaking as I put down paper. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper left. And I have all of this. I have a full sticker book. Haven't touched these brads. I have this title. It looks like a page kit. And I have these chipboard pieces. So this becomes frustrating to me when I run out of paper. What am I going to do with all of these bits and pieces once I'm finished with this? I don't want to keep shuffling it from place to place in my room. I want a system that helps me use it. So that I need to put more thought into this for sure, because I don't live on a farm. I have situations that I can use some of this, but not all of it. And I will probably downsize this once it's used. So I'm going to make sure I pull from this time around, and then start making decisions about these collection bits and pieces. Now, could I put that with another Simple Stories collection? Yeah, I could try that if it's of the same theme. This is a hip kit collection that I bought on sale. And I bought extra paper, so I have lots of paper here. And it looks like some of the papers are Pink Fresh. They're not all exclusive to Hip Kit. Yeah, this one's Pink Fresh. So I want to play with this. This is the season for sure to play with these colors. But then this one might get broken down. This is one that I don't think I've touched. Yeah, Wicker Lane. I like this one a lot, and I have not used it. So this is the papers, and I have an entire sticker sheet. This is from Flavors of the Month, from the scrap room. And I need to use that. There's no reason not to. Okay, so I'm going to continue the rest of this on my own and not bring you along with me, because that could probably get tiresome. I just wanted to show you some of my thought process, this new category I have in my room. I wanted to share that with you. It may be helpful to you, and you may be looking at me thinking, Priscilla, my gosh, why didn't you think of this? It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we just need to hear a friend think for us, and then our brain kicks into gear. I am so excited about this, because now, I'm not going to say I don't have other dirty little secrets. I do. But as far as the largest category in my room, my paper, I have purpose for every single bit of it. Now, all of the papers from my torn down paper pads, we're going to get into that at a later date. I have all of that pulled out of my shelves, and I've got that stored somewhere else, and we're going to get into it at a later time. But for now, everything is sorted, it's categorized in a way that makes sense to my brain, that I can quickly access it and make fast decisions and move on with the creating process. Let me know what you think about this, and I will make sure I link everyone's channels that I've talked about this morning, so that you can go check out their channels too. They are fabulous, fabulous creators, thinkers, and I just appreciate them so much. Come back, and we will chat again soon. Bye-bye.